Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're flipping the script a bit, not maximalism. We're talking about creative distillation, focusing on that idea of taking one really brilliant concept, isolating it, refining it down so it's super accessible.
And just letting it loose.
Yeah, letting it run wild, maybe even redefine a sound.
It's like focusing a laser, isn't it? We often see this race in tech, in gear, to just pile on features, more complexity.
Right.
But sometimes the real breakthroughs, the genius designs, they come from, well, smart subtraction.
And that kind of strategic focus takes us right to our subject for this deep dive. We are looking into the Electro Harmonix freeze, the sound retainer.
EHX, good old EHX.
We've dug into the history, the specs, the tech sheets, and our mission really is to understand why this pretty simple pedal, I mean, its whole job is just to hold a sound indefinitely.
Wow.
Why did it become such an instant classic, especially, for artists painting those big ambient soundscapes?
The freeze might just be the purest example of that EHX philosophy. Simple idea, massive impact. We're going to trace where that function came from.
Because it wasn't entirely new, right?
Not entirely. We'll look at how it went from being this sort of hidden feature in a big, complex machine to this essential, affordable, tiny little tool musicians everywhere just grabbed onto.
Okay, let's get into that origin story, because the freeze, it didn't just pop up out of thin air in 2010 when it was released.
No. It definitely has a parent. A big one.
A behemoth, you said.
It really grew directly from existing EHX DNA.
Yeah.
Specifically from a feature on a much larger, significantly more complex pedal, the HOG.
Ah, the harmonic octave generator. That came out back in, 2007?
Yep, 2007. The HOG was, a monster of pitch-shifting tech, sliders for all these octaves, harmonies, and complex stuff.
But hidden away on that beast.
Right. Amidst all that power, there was this one little three-position switch labeled freeze gliss. Honestly, you could easily overlook it on the HOG's panel.
Gold buried in a mountain of platinum, as you put it.
Kind of, yeah. That specific function, that little switch, let you capture whatever note or chord you were playing right then.
Just hold it.
Hold it. Indefinitely.
Yeah.
Sustained forever. It was really transformative. But the catch was, you needed the whole HOG unit.
Which was big and expensive.
Exactly. Took up serious pedal board space, cost a fair bit, all just to get that one single effect.
And that's where the EHX insight, that business and creative sense, really clicks in.
Totally. They recognize the power of that capability. Being able to just instantly generate a continuous pad under your live playing.
Yeah.
That was too good, too valuable to keep locked away in an expensive niche pedal.
So the spinoff was a deliberate move.
Oh, absolutely strategic. They isolated that freeze gliss function, tweaked the engine a bit, repackaged it.
Into the little freeze box.
Into the compact freeze. And suddenly, they democratized infinite sustain, made it way more accessible, affordable, and crucially, easy to stick on pretty much any pedal board.
It's like the perfect example of product refinement, isn't it? Take the single best bit from your complex flagship, streamline it, make it for everyone.
And it really did change the game almost overnight for certain sounds.
Okay, so let's look under the hood a bit. The freeze is digital, right?
Definitely digital. It's built around DSP, digital signal processing.
Yeah.
Uses sampling and looping algorithms that they'd basically refined from the work done on the HOG.
So when we say infinite sustainment, how does it actually do that without just sounding like a stuttering loop? What makes it different from just hitting record on my looper pedal?
That's a really good question, and the distinction is key. The core action is it captures the audio signal the very instant you hit the foot switch.
Instantly.
And then it sustains that specific capture forever, or until you tell it to stop. It's not like a traditional looper that records a phrase over, say, 2 seconds.
Right, a looper records a duration.
Exactly. Think of it like this. A looper takes a short video clip of your playing. The freeze takes an instantaneous high-res photo, a freeze frame, and just holds that sonic picture perfectly still. No decay.
Ah, okay. That snapshot versus video clip idea really clarifies why it gives you that immediate, continuous, pad-like drone.
Precisely. And sticking to that accessibility goal, the physical design was just as simple.
Yeah, the box itself.
It's in that standard compact XO size case. Easy to fit anywhere on a board, runs off a regular 9V adapter, nothing weird. It's built to be integrated, a utility tool.
But even with that simple concept, The controls give you just enough flexibility. There's really only one main knob, right? Effect level.
And that knob is vital. It's your blend control. It lets you dial in precisely how much of that sustained frozen sound mixes with your live dry signal coming through.
So you can have it as just a subtle background thing.
Or a massive drone that's just as loud as your guitar. Getting that blend right is what makes it musically useful, not just a gimmick.
But the real secret sauce, the thing that unlocks its creative potential, that's the mode switch, isn't it? Those 3 sustained behaviors.
Absolutely. That little switch is where it goes from being just a sustained pedal to a dynamic performance tool. It changes how your foot interacts with the effect, and that creates totally different musical results.
Okay, let's break those down. First is latch mode. Seems the most straightforward.
Yep. Latch is basically an on-off toggle. Press the foot switch once, the sound freezes, holds forever. Press it again, it cuts off instantly.
So you'd use latch when you need that drone to just sit there for a whole section, like underpinning a verse.
Exactly. Turn your guitar into an organ pad for the whole chorus, maybe. Freeze up your hands to play laid over it, or tweak other pedals while that foundation just holds steady.
Then there's momentary mode. Sounds more active.
Much more dynamic. In momentary, the sustain only lasts as long as you physically hold your foot down on the switch. Lift your foot, the sound stops immediately.
Okay, I can see uses for that. Quick stabs of sound.
Yeah, exactly. Quick textural bursts. Or using it almost rhythmically, like hitting the sustain pedal on a piano for just a moment to let a chord ring, then cutting it off clean. People use it for glitchy effects, filling little gaps.
Right. And the third mode, sometimes called fast slow decay or just fade.
Yeah, fade or decay mode. This one offers the smoothest transitions out.
How so?
Well, instead of the frozen sound just cutting off dead when you release the switch, like in momentary or latch,
It fades out.
it fades out gracefully over a short preset time. This is really essential if you want a smooth shift between song sections or just a gentler release from that soundscape. Keeps things sounding musical.
Okay, so we've got the mechanics down, but what does this actually sound like? What do players do with it? The main thing seems to be ambient textures.
Oh, absolutely. That's its bread and butter. The speed of the freeze is amazing. You can capture a really complex chord voicing, maybe something with lots of reverb or delay already baked in, hit the switch.
And boom, instant pad.
Instant, continuous, deep pad. Then you're totally free to play solos, counter melodies, whatever you want, right on top of that drone you just created. Instant layering.
I remember seeing notes about how it works on single notes, too. That infinite sustain thing really changes the guitar's character.
It really does. Holding a single pitch like that gives the guitar this almost bowed string quality, like a violin or a cello that just doesn't run out of breath. It gets rid of the natural string decay.
Which normally limits how long a clean note rings out.
Right. So you get these incredible sustained dynamics that were really hard to achieve before unless you used like tons of gain and volume for feedback.
And looking at who adopted it, it wasn't just ambient in general, was it? Specific genres really grabbed onto this.
Oh, yeah. Shoegaze bands, post-rock groups, they jumped on it almost immediately. Think about bands known for building those huge, evolving walls of sound.
Like Explosions in the Sky or Mogwai.
Bands like that, exactly. They rely heavily on creating those immense, sustained textures. The freeze gave them a super efficient way to lock down a harmonic foundation while still having guitars playing melodies or riffs on top.
And those 3 modes we talked about really make a difference in performance, I bet. Momentary for those quick hits.
Yeah, those dramatic stabs or accents, really useful.
While latch is for the big, long stuff, the evolving soundscapes that might go on for minutes.
And just having that choice, toggling between those styles with one small switch, that's a huge part of why it became so valuable on stage and in the studio.
What's really cool is how it went beyond just guitar players looking for big textures.
It became a genuine utility pedal. You started seeing bass players using it.
For drones.
Yeah, underpinning their lines with these continuous, thick sub-drones adds this foundational rumble, almost like having a synth player holding down a low note. Great for filling out the sound in a trio.
And then keyboardists, sound designers, using it like a sampler.
Kind of, yeah. Like a super simple lo-fi infinite sampler. You could capture anything going into it, a bit of vocal, a weird percussion sound, a snippet from another synth, and just hold it there forever, turning that instant into a usable texture.
So that cross-instrument appeal really proves the strength of the core function itself.
Exactly. The genius was in the what it did, not just who it was originally aimed at.
Okay, let's put the freeze in context within EHX history. Our research suggests it fits into this bigger strategy they have. Something like digital minimalism.
That's a great way to put it. Digital minimalism. taking complex digital power but packaging it in the most direct, player-friendly focused way possible.
We've seen that pattern elsewhere, right?
Definitely. Think about pedals like the Nano POG, the Pitchfork, even later stuff like the C9 or ML09 organ and Mellotron simulators. Each one does one core thing, but does it incredibly well. No deep menus, just instant inspiration.
And chronologically, the Freeze plays an interesting role, too. It sits right between that huge HOG from 2007.
And the next evolution, the Super Ego, which landed in 2012.
Right, the Super Ego, how does that relate?
The Super Ego is basically the Freeze concept taken further. It absolutely builds on the Freeze's sustain engine, but then it adds more synth-like features, things like attack and decay controls for the frozen sound, and effects loops so you can process just the sustained part.
More layering options, too, I think.
Yeah, more complex layering. It's like Freeze Plus.
So, if the Super Ego came out and did more, why is the original Freeze still around? Why does it still have this kind of cult status? Did the newer one make it obsolete?
Not at all, actually. The Freeze holds its ground because it nails its specific niche perfectly. Absolute simplicity and affordability. It's still the go-to for players who just need that rock-solid 3-mode infinite sustain without any extra bells and whistles or the higher price tag of the Super Ego. The Freeze proved the concept was gold. The Super Ego built an expansion pack for it.
Okay, that makes sense. So if we boil down its legacy, its lasting impact, why does the Freeze really matter in the history of EHX and effect pedals?
Well, based on everything we've looked at, I think there may be 4 key things. First, like we said, it brilliantly pulled that one killer feature out of the complex, expensive HOG and made it an icon on its own.
Right, rescued it from obscurity.
Second, its sheer simplicity, combined with how transformative it sounds, genuinely opened up new creative avenues for guitarists. It gave them instant access to sound design tools they didn't really have before in such a simple box.
Third point.
It basically became a standard tool for ambient music. For loads of shoegaze, post-rock, experimental players, the Freeze is now just as fundamental to their sound as reverb or delay. It's part of the sonic blueprint.
Wow, okay. That's significant.
And finally, number 4. Its success just reconfirmed EHX's knack for innovation. It showed they could keep taking sophisticated tech, even their own existing tech, and reimagine it into these focused, super usable, inspiring pedals. Still relevant today. It's the perfect case study for less sometimes creating more opportunity. #tag outro.
So we've traced quite a journey there, from this single, maybe overlooked function on the giant HOG pedal,
All the way to the iconic little Freeze pedal that just completely changed the game for infinite ambient sustain.
It's a really compelling story of focus, making things accessible, and the huge creative impact that can have.
The tech to instantly grab and hold a perfect moment in time, forever.
Yeah.
That's complex stuff, but EHX wrapped it up with such elegance.
So we'll leave you with this thought to chew on. If the Freeze's massive, enduring success came from simplifying things, from making one really powerful feature available to everyone, what does that suggest about the future of complex technology in general? Is that kind of highly focused design prioritizing one key function? Is that sometimes more transformative, more influential in the long run than the maximalist approach that tries to cram absolutely everything into one box?
Something to think about next time you hear one of those amazing effortless pad drones anchoring a track you love. Where did that sound start?
Indeed. Until the next deep dive, keep experimenting.
Keep listening.